Hello everybody, today's video is going to be another walkthrough talk-through, and this video is specifically going to be the eyeshadow look that I had in my e.l.f. Cosmetics haul. I've had a couple comments about that eyeshadow that I had in the video, so I am going to try my best and duplicate it today. I don't remember exactly what I did, but of course I can kind of see on the video and pictures that I have, of course, what I have done, so I will do my best to duplicate that, and if you would like to have that look as well, just keep watching. Alright, so to start things off, I'm going to put my little handy dandy headband on. Alright, so now that I've got my headband all put on and pulling my hair back, I'm going to be priming my face using the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer, and this is the color adjusting one. Also, I just recently watched a video, and it was like a game changer for me. For my priming on my nose, that is always the first thing that comes off, and typically sometimes on my chin too if I have a lot of blemishes or whatnot, but it always comes off. Well, I saw a video where they use eye primer on their nose and then you just apply your makeup the regular way and it stays, and I've been doing that and my makeup has been staying all day long, so that's what I'm going to do today too. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, and this is just the original one. So basically all you do is just take it out and apply it with the little wand over your nose. And if you were paying attention, I did not prime my nose with the, or at least I tried not to, but do not prime your nose with your primer, only this. And I kind of go on the sides too because that tends to come off with my foundation as well. So then once you have that on your nose, I'm just going to take my beauty blender, and this is the Real Techniques sponge, and I'm just going to dab that all on. And it looks, this always bugs me, it looks really weird when you first put it on. It looks splotchy, but once you put that foundation over top of it, it really does help. So as you can see, you can most definitely see that on my nose, but we'll leave that as is. And now we're just going to wait a couple minutes for the primer to set. Now for the foundation, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter, and this is in 1.0, and I have used quite a bit of this, and I think I might do a review on it once I've kind of finished the whole product. It won't be so much an empties, but just a review because I have used the whole product, and if you would like to see that, just let me know down below, but I really think that I'm going to be doing a review on this. So I just do a couple pumps. Typically I do 3 pumps on my hand. Foundation is extremely high coverage, and you can instantly tell that like once I start putting it on my face because it is just covering all the freckles that I have and my under eyes. I mean, it does its job. It is definitely a full coverage foundation. Okay, so that's going over the nose, and as you can see, that line, I mean, I don't have foundation all over my face, but that line that was created with that primer is no longer there. That foundation just covers it right up. Now, if you were using a foundation that wasn't so much full coverage, it could possibly be an issue. You might have to apply less eye primer onto your nose or whatever spot it is that your makeup rubs off. But with a high coverage one like the All Nighter, it's no issue whatsoever. It just covers it right up. I'm just going to kind of leave the eyelid area alone, and we'll get to that later. For concealer, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in Fair/Neutral. Just going to create a couple lines going down underneath my eyes. And this concealer, if you use it before, then you know, but if not, this concealer sets extremely fast, so you cannot just put your concealer everywhere on your face. For me, I have to place it in just like 2 spots like this and go at it with the sponge, blending it all in, and then hit the other spots. Now, I have noticed that whenever I wear a foundation that is not as high coverage as this one with this concealer, I do not have to do everything in such small pieces. I can put all of my concealer all over my face where I want it and then go back in and blend it all together. I don't know if just this specific concealer adheres to the foundation as much, but that is what I have to do right now. I'm going to lay that down my nose. underneath my lip, and I just kind of do a couple swipes down there, and it may really seem like a lot, but it really has lasted me a long time. It's not that much when you really do put it on your face. This isn't a concealer that you can just go super easy on either. I think that you do have to have, you know, a pretty good amount of product. Even in that short amount of time, that concealer already started to set, and I don't know if you can see it right now, but it did already create a small line. So I'm going to go ahead and just put little dabs on it some more and go back over it so that that is not an issue. And now I'm just going to hit my forehead with a couple lines. Alright, and that is it for concealer. Alright, after you have your concealer on, I'm going to go in and set that and kind of let it bake while I do my brows. And I'm going to be using the NYC Smooth Skin Loose Powder in Translucent. I'm going to pop that open. And I also like to use my whatever sponge I'm using for this as well. Just place it in that powder and then dab it right where you want to set. And for me, that is going to be my under eyes. I'm going to put a good little amount. As well as my chin. Because like I said, my chin does tend to wipe off. And that is because it gets a little oily faster, so I like to set that. Set the tip of my nose. Kind of on the sides where I place that eyeshadow primer. And then also I am going to put some powder right underneath the contour line. I'm going to let this set while I do my brows. For my brows, I'm going to be using the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil, and this is in the number 3 medium. Just going to roll out that pencil, do a little bit of brushing to my brows, and now I'm just going to fill them in. I have filled them in. They're looking a little unruly, so I am going to go around and sculpt them, and I'm just going to be using the concealer that I use for my face, as well as a flat brush. A lot of people use angle brushes, and sometimes I do, but most of the time I just use this regular one. Like I said before, this concealer does set pretty fast, so you have to do it little by little. Just kind of place it where you want it and blend it down. Or if you're on the top, blend it up. Alright, now that I have sculpted my brows, I am just going to be using a brow gel to set them and make sure that those unruly hairs don't go out of place. Today I'm going to be using eyebrow gel in clear that is water resistant from the Brow Gal. And it is right here. And actually this is one that my sister got in a subscription box and she gave it to me, and so it is my first time using it and I am excited to see how it goes. And now I am done with my brows. Now that I have my brows done, I am going to leave the powder that is baking on my face, especially for underneath my eyes, so that any fallout from my eyeshadow will just fall onto that powder and I can just swipe it right off. So I know that I used this in my last tutorial for my walkthrough talkthrough, but this is the palette that I used for the eyeshadow in the e.l.f. Cosmetics haul, so I'm going to be using this again, and it is the Morphe 350 palette. It is a wonderful palette. Excuse all of the disastrous makeup that's on it, but it is a great palette nonetheless. I would vouch for it anytime, and that is why I'm going to be using it today. I just love it a lot. So here we go. Before I start with any shadow, I'm going to be priming my eyes using the same primer that I used before, the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Original. So I'm going to lay that on my eyelid and right beneath my brow. And this is something else that does set pretty fast as well, so you're going to want to get it on and mixed onto your eyelid as fast as possible. I have got that done. I'm going to go in with this Sonia Kashuk shadow brush, and I'm just going to pick the lightest color in the palette right here, and I'm just going to set that primer. Now I'm going to be going in with this Sonia Kashuk blending brush, and I am going to be using this very neutral color right here and just kind of placing it in the crease and creating like a transition color. So just place that right in the crease, maybe even a little bit above it, and buff it in. Now, this look has a lot of pinky red tones to them, so after this transition color, those are the ones that I'm going to be using. And it's best with eyeshadows to just kind of build up to it. So to just start out with the brightest color or the deepest color, put something behind it and build onto it. It'll add a lot more depth, and it just shows that you pay a lot more attention to detail as well. Like I said, that's very neutral. It's not anything huge, but that is the first tone that will go on. And also with this look, I'm going to be using this blending brush quite a bit, so make sure that you do rub off that excess if necessary. I'm going to be going in next with this chocolate color right here. And this definitely goes into the more red tones. Tap off that excess and go right back in and repeat what you just did. And kind of start bringing it in towards the center of the eyelid, right on the outside as well. Even though this is a more chocolatey color, you can see that red undertone already pulling right out of that. And that's what's going to give it that autumny feel to it with that red color. And I think that is what I would classify this eyeshadow as. It's a very autumn fall look, which is perfect for right now because we're right in the midst of fall, right in October. Now I'm going to go in with a slightly darker color, and this is going to be another reddish brown. However, this one has a shimmer to it, because if you could tell from the video, or even if you have not seen the video, this shadow has a lot of shimmer to it. And this, since it is a little bit darker, I'm focusing primarily on the outside of the crease, not so much pulling in towards the inner corner. And I'm just using that buffing brush, or just using that blending brush again. Oh my goodness. And just buffing that in that corner. And pulling it on to the outside of the eyelid as well. And you can already see a difference. I'm kind of creating a little more depth as we go. Just continue on that other eye. Buff that into that corner. Now to add a little bit more red tone to it, I'm going to use a different brush, and I'm going to be using this e.l.f. crease brush, and I'm going to be dabbing right into this ruby red color right here. Place that right in there, dab off the excess, and with this I'm going to go right in the crease but pulling it even more onto the lid. I am going to go in with this burnt orange shade that has a big shimmer to it, and this is just going to go right in the corner, and I'm going to use the blending brush again, and this is just to add that last little bit of depth. Alright, so now you have done that, I'm going to go in with this light pinky shade, and I'm going to use my finger on this so that I can get a lot of pigment onto my eyelid, and I am going to place it right on the inner corner, and then you can take a brush and blend that out. I'm going to go right back into that ruby red color I was talking about with the e.l.f. crease brush and place that right around the edge of this and into the crease just a little bit. Lastly, just to give a little bit more light, I'm going to be going in with a small detail brush and using that shimmer shade right there. I am going to place that right on the inside crease right there. Add plenty of light right there. And going in with that same shade, I'm going to add just a little bit of highlight right underneath that brow bone. Alright, now I'm going to finish up my eyes by swiping off the excess and putting on mascara. I will be right back. Alright, so now I have wiped off all of the excess and put my mascara on, and that eyeshadow does not require any eyeliner or anything extra to the eyes, just a couple coats of mascara and you're good to go. So now on with my face. I am going to use the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. And I'm just going to go in with Subconscious right here, the cool tone. And using this blush brush from Sonia Kashuk, I am going to blend it right in above where I was baking it and make a small contour line. Nothing too harsh. Use a really light hand as well, and that way it won't be anything too heavy. Just going to go along my nose as well. And then right along the bottom of my jawline. I'm also going to take the color Shadow Play and I'm going to go along the top of my forehead. And I'm using Shadow Play instead of Subconscious because this is going to add a little more warmth to my face. Right around my forehead. Alright, now I am done with the Shade and Light palette and I'm going to go in with Too Faced Sun Bunny. And this is just a little sample that I have gotten from Sephora. And using that same brush, I'm going to go in right along where I did that contour. And usually with a bronzer, like I just did, I don't go all the way as far as I did with my contour. I just go about 3/4 of the way down. I don't know, I just feel like I don't need my bronzer all the way up there. I don't know why I've started doing that. Now I'm going to go in with this big fluffy brush and I am going to just place on a little bit of blush using this e.l.f. blush in Glow. And here it is right here actually. And for this look, I'm not looking for a lot of blush. I'm going to go more of the bronze and highlight look, so just barely rub up and down to give yourself a little bit of color. I am going to go in with the e.l.f. highlighter in pink, and this is the shimmer. I'm going to put my fan brush on it, and this is the Morphe M310. I'm just going to lay that right on the cheekbones. And then again right on the forehead, down the bridge in the nose, and then right across on the tip. Go right on my Cupid's bow and then just a little bit to lighten up my chin. Now I'm going to add even more shimmer to my cheeks, so I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I'm going to spray that on my face nice and good just to set my makeup. Now I'm going to go back in with that same highlighter in pink. Tap off that excess and I'm going to go again on my cheeks just to give that highlight even more of, I guess, like a wow factor, of like a bam to it. The very last thing I'm going to do is go in with a liquid lipstick, and this is the ColourPop Chilly Chilly. I am not going to have on what I had in the e.l.f. Cosmetics haul. What I was wearing in that video was an e.l.f. Beautifully Bare lipstick, but in this I'm going to be using this ColourPop lipstick. This is the Ultra Matte Lip, so it's going to be very matte. If you need a little shimmer with it, you can add a light chapstick over top or underneath it. Alright, and that is today's look. Let me know how close you think I got to the e.l.f. Cosmetics look down below. I hope that it is as close as possible so that you can kind of redo the look yourself. And if not, please, like I said, let me know down below. I'll give it a second try and see how well I can match it up. If you liked what you saw today, go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. And if you have any questions about this video at all or the look that I have done today, leave me a comment down below. And if you really liked what you saw today, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!